Because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America. Americans who sent a message to the world that we have never been just a collection of individuals or a collection of red states and blue states. We are and always will be the United States of America.
We are glad to be back with President Barack Obama. Now, let's take care of some business.
Elizabeth, can I just point out, I don't have as much gray hair in that.
I noticed. I wasn't going to bring it up.
The presidency ages everyone. I know.
Well,
everyone.
the stress of the job, I think, would maybe do that as well. I want to get to something that's really important to so many Americans. You had promised that the stimulus bill would cap unemployment at 8%. We're at near 10% across the country, 12% in my home state of Rhode Island. We are in a state of chronic joblessness. Yet, and we heard in the beginning of the show as well, you claim that there's saved jobs, a standard that's not been used before by any administration. It's frustrating to hear that saved jobs boasting, because it doesn't feel that way to Americans when they don't have jobs and they're losing jobs. How can you continue and your administration continue to say that you are saving jobs when, in fact, people are losing jobs?
Well, actually, Elizabeth, what's happened is that we've gained private sector jobs for the last 5 months. So we were losing jobs when I was sworn in. As I said, 750,000 jobs per month. We've now gained jobs for 5 consecutive months in the private sector. You're absolutely right that it's not enough. And if you don't have a job right now, the only answer that you want to hear is, I'm hired. Right. So the frustration that people have is entirely justified. Now, I have to tell you, though, this isn't just my standard, Elizabeth, or my administration standard. There was a report that came out by a couple of economists just today, including John McCain's former economist, that said that had we not taken the steps that we took, you would have actually seen millions of more jobs lost, and we would be in a Great Depression. So I know that's not satisfying and it's not good enough.
I think the word saved is what's troubling people because they don't feel it.
Well, it makes a difference, though, if your job was one of the ones that saved. So, I mean, let me give you... I'll just give you a very specific example. The states got hammered as a consequence of this financial crisis.
They did.
And if we had not provided immediate assistance to the states, they would have had to lay off teachers, police officers, firefighters. This was not just a matter of the jobs for those people. It's also the services that would have been lost, kids who would not have had teachers in the classroom. So here's the challenge. We went through the worst crisis since the Great Depression. And we are now bouncing back, but we're not bouncing back as quick as we need to. There are specific steps that we can take that will make a difference. So, for example, we've got a bill right now for small businesses. I just met with some small business folks over in Edison, New Jersey, right before I came here. They want to grow. They want to expand. Some of them are having trouble getting credit. Some of them want to buy new equipment but are wondering, can they get tax breaks that would help save them money. And this bill would address that. It has gotten tangled up in politics, and my hope is that we get it through. But my expectation is that we are going to keep on pushing and pushing, and the economy is going to slowly get better. And people were traumatized. So consumers now, they kind of pulled back a little bit. Businesses who actually are profitable again and have a lot of cash are hesitating in terms of investment. And slowly, as people get more confident that this recovery is stable and here to stay, then I think we're going to do better. And I just want to give you one example of an industry where we are immediately seeing progress, and that's the auto industry, because I think it tells a good story about what we've gone through. You remember when we decided to go and restructure the auto industry, there were a lot of complaints out there. Why are we bailing out the car company? Now, we'd been bailing them out for years before that, just asking nothing in return. We finally said, you restructure. As a consequence, GM and Chrysler did not go through liquidation. You now have all those U.S. auto companies showing a profit. They've rehired 55,000 workers. we are going to get all of the money back that we invested in those car companies. And the best thing is we're now creating an entirely new clean energy, clean car technology around advanced batteries and whatnot that will make us a world leader. Now, that progress is significant, but we've still got a long way to go before we're all the way back. And you know, the one thing I want to just tell everybody here in this audience, don't bet against American workers. Don't bet against American ingenuity. We still have the best workers in the world, the best technology in the world, the best universities in the world. And if we get our mojo back over the next several months, then I am absolutely confident that we are going to be doing terrific. But we're going to have to make some fundamental structural changes as we go along.
We have more time later on, but I've got to get to Afghanistan because it's so much in the news right now. This week, Congress voted to spend another, what, $59 billion for the war, but 100 Democrats, much larger number than last year, refused to vote for your plan. And now we hear about a leak of secret documents. Pakistan maybe is friendlier to the rebels than you are. Supposedly we're there because of Al-Qaeda. There are only 50 or so members of Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. Why don't we get out?
Well, look, war is always tough. And I want to point out that when I came in, and during the campaign, I was very explicit. We need to bring an end to the war in Iraq, and we need to refocus our strategy in Afghanistan because it's not working. All the leaks that came out in this WikiLeaks thing that occurred this week just confirmed what I was saying during the campaign, which was from 2004 onward, Afghanistan was under-resourced. We took our eye off the ball. We were distracted with Iraq. Now, here's the good news. We are ending our combat operations in Iraq this month because of the incredible heroism of our troops and because of the Iraqi people. We are now in a position to end our combat operations. In Afghanistan, we've still got a lot of work to do. And the problem that we've got is that although Al-Qaeda right now is primarily in Pakistan, in those border regions between Afghanistan and Pakistan, it's not hard for them to move in and out across those borders. These are uncontrolled borders. And the folks who perpetrated 9/11 and their allies are still congregated there. That is still the epicenter of terrorism targeting the United States. And what we need is to have a stable Afghanistan and a Pakistan that is not a sanctuary for terrorism. Now, what I've said is we're going to get an opportunity. We're going to give an opportunity to the Afghan government to build up its security forces after 30 years of war. We're going to help them with some development. We're going to allow them to stabilize. In the July of 2011, next year, we're going to start thinning out our troops. But it is important for us to understand that we've got real security interests there, because if you've just got chaos, what some people call chaosistan in this region, where there's no functioning government and warlords and terrorist affiliates are able to operate, that is going to be that much tougher for us to make sure that they are not attacking us. So I'm not interested in open-ended commitment. The sacrifices that our military have been making have been extraordinary. And I said when I announced our new strategy that at a certain point we've got to focus on building do some nation building here in the United States and not overseas. That's got to be a priority, but we've got to finish the job that we started, and it's not yet done.
July 2011, draw down.
Mr. President,
we're going to start drawing down.
We thank you for that, and we will also be back with more. President Barack Obama, when we return.